And a sort of more final manifesto.
Oh, right.
Okay.
Yeah.
What? Yeah, I'm recording the session. As long as it gets the vocals, it's got a bit of, like, the lower half of Joe's head.
It's probably better.
Yeah, I can then put it on Facebook later.
Oh,
What is that on? Manifesto or proposal?
Let's do proposal.
Yeah.
Well,
Because the manifesto comes
why don't
from
we
the
talk
proposal,
about
I think.
Thursday first and how that went? Because Louise really liked that piece. So I think.
Oh, Thursday, right.
Yeah, we didn't get a lot of negative criticism, which confused me.
Yeah, I was expecting that I was going to get, like,
some of the
given the
other
fact we put it together in a worryingly short amount of time, I thought that was
She
gonna
actually
get,
really
like,
liked it.
slammed. It was okay.
Some of the other groups got quite
Quite a brutal
stripping
beating.
down almost. She liked ours.
Reduced enough.
Sort of confused because a lot of the other groups I felt like there were parts that they'd full on choreo. You know how we just kind of had stimuluses?
Yeah.
There was some, but even Miles's group was choreographed.
Was it?
Even what?
Miles's
it really
group was
looked like
choreographed. Because he was telling me they'd choreographed. Jordan's group had choreographed.
To the other
Fourth
group.
one?
To the other group. The other next.
They must have choreographed as well.
They did.
Maybe. Did they?
I think so.
And we sort of just had stimuli points, didn't we? Which I kind of preferred because I didn't have to worry as much.
True.
The only problem I had was seeing Joe's movement when there was like a balcony bit in my face. I was like, shit.
I was trying to make it so the stuff could be seen through the, through the gaps in it, but it wasn't.
Well,
really
she really
working.
liked how we played with the space, didn't she? So a lot of groups didn't do that.
Quite liked the use of space. I liked us experimenting in the library. I thought that was good.
Well, when we had to run and go down on the balcony.
Face nearly in places my face shouldn't be. That was slightly awkward. I was like, lift head up. Must not put head down. Must not put head
someone's
down.
foot was there, and I was like, oh.
I had a crotch. There was a crotch right there. I was like, oh shit. Oh no.
And that was only because I was trying to not crush Julie.
Yeah, I ended up on the very bottom.
Yeah.
Oh, next time I'll just wriggle underneath for everyone and be like, hi guys, just let me.
But she said that she really like the lighting effect of there, didn't she?
Yeah, but we didn't really see that. I mean,
No, we didn't
what
see
was the light like?
I have no idea.
We could go up and have a look in the room.
Somebody should do that.
One of the things I think is really worth taking away from that was something that Louise kind of mentioned in passing, which was, you know how we built things around the idea of obscuring one another and not making it so that other people could see. She was saying it's interesting when that stopped being there and the same thing was happening and it could be seen. So, like, designing stuff that, or making stuff where people are not seen and then making it so they definitely are. It's really worth.
Yeah. Because what was really interesting was when we did on the chairs.
Yeah, that was it.
We weren't facing them, but it created this different effect and everything.
Yeah.
I was really interested, I found.
That was when she mentioned it, actually.
Yeah.
And I was like, ooh, thank you.
She said to me, concentrate, Vicky. And I was like, Miles just elbowed me in the eye. You know, I can't concentrate.
I kind of liked the fact that she made us experiment, you know, with the whole bag on the face thing. I quite liked us working with our eyes closed, but I did think it was quite effective. Made me think maybe if potentially we try, even if it's not, be just a mask, be a hat.
Something which is covering the face.
Yeah.
Because I really like the fact how aware it made you feel, like, because when I was doing my group pieces, I was just there, like, with the other group, and I was just there, like, oh shit,
You
where
use
is
it
it?
at the senses as well, don't you? Like, you're more aware of, like, I'm not going to do major things because I don't want to hurt anyone, or can I feel someone there almost, you know?
One of the really big notes which did apply to that, so yeah, everybody there was like sharpening up on the actual physical work and
Yeah,
practicing it, being precise.
and if we're going to do that, maybe practice, you know, is it the articulations? So when it's like bigger movements for growth and stuff, like full on practicing per articulation.
But whatever it is, being definite and precise about it and not kind of like
I think confidence is a big thing as well, isn't it? It's your first thing, you're like, oh, was this next? Was that next? What am I going to do? That sort of thing. But she mentioned about focusing on the internal, didn't she? Because we did it really differently to the other group, didn't they?
I think she really liked the heartbeat.
She really liked that.
She probably thinks of
It was
incorporating that.
yeah, it's a much more subtle idea than that kind of,
Yeah.
which was a bit like, yeah, I get it, alright, fine. Yeah.
Did she say anything about using the different languages?
Yeah, she did. She was particularly interested in what he would actually
Right,
say,
yeah.
which I think
That's good.
almost missed the point.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was like, I didn't really want to say to her, like, I don't know, fucking different about it.
Yeah.
Point.
It's not meant to be understood, goddammit. That's so stop bloody trying.
Comes to the exam piece. What were you guys talking about then? We just made it up. Oh, okay. Several marks removed.
But then again, we can, that time, if she had, we can just like, well, it was our experiment to work with each other, with understanding each other, how that affects that sort of thing.
You somehow managed to just like, with your face, then perfectly incorporate artistic bullshit.
Yeah.
It was just like the perfect.
Oh, well, I've been working on it.
First rule in our manifesto: if whatever they ask us, bullshit.
Bullshit, yeah.
It's how I live my life, honestly.
funny 'cause
Like,
it's
you know, if I don't really know what I'm talking about, just pretend that I'm somebody who does. And that's, like,
So, what are we going to do with that proposal?
So
Ooh,
probably
big
we
question.
should probably start with the things that we want to keep from the performance that we did. What worked, what didn't work.
I kind of like. Sorry, I just remembered because I really liked the idea after it came up. You know, during the performance when I pretty much tackled you to the floor and it was quite boom. I kind of like the idea of maybe experimenting with us, maybe working not necessarily to our hardest, but not being afraid of getting hurt.
yeah.
I really like the idea of not being afraid of getting hurt, even if it's so slow, it may be hurt. Or like when I nearly killed Joe with his tie. I am sorry for that.
Yeah, that came as a bit of a surprise, I'll be honest. I was
I
like,
didn't look for your tie, I didn't even know I was holding it.
But I think that someone said in the group that I really, really liked that because it was a complete tempo change, wasn't it? It was just complete, from going so slow to delicate movements almost to bang, on the freaking floor in seconds.
It's good, my hand is so bad from it. I've got like a minor bruise there.
when you think about
He's got hard
I just saw Tina's hair and I was like, oh no, this is it. We're going down. We're going down.
this is the end. It's like so
We're going down. You look so lovely and delicate. Next minute you're charging towards me. And I was like, I'm going down.
Stand your ground. Rugby faces.
So from delicate moving to rapid something.
It's like that. It's that kind of thing in music, where particularly like music, you keep doing the same thing and it builds tension. It builds tension. It keeps kind of going. And then the point at which you finally break it and make it change it has a far greater effect as a result of the fact that you kept doing that thing that you were doing initially. And I think that's kind of useful.
What I thought was really interesting, you know, the exercises we did with the pictures.
Yep.
I thought we could like move the the changing and how we change from different things. You know, not just going, okay, we're going to move now to the next picture.
Yeah.
That transition, that was really interesting how we sort of moved your bodies to sort of form a new picture. That's made me good,
That was close.
potentially play with.
Yeah. Yeah. Transition.
Transition, smooth transition, pace,
Yeah.
not being afraid of being hurt. definitely want to do something to do with distancing, like faces.
I don't really want
Like-
to do something that's literal, if you get what I mean.
Yeah,
The what?
nothing like literal. I just think
Like that one group was when they actually had the hockey, and then they had
No.
the actual statue.
Oh yeah.
that was way too close. It
For
felt
me,
like
I don't want that. You know, I want to be able to make my own interpretations of work and stuff.
it didn't feel like
I
a
think-
stimulus with that.
I was
It
gonna say,
felt more like they were, what's the other word? Someone gives you a piece and you essentially do that piece.
Replication.
Yeah, it was more like that than a stimuli.
That
But
was
I
a fault
found
with
that
them.
with two of the things there in particular. Actually, it's like there was nothing interpretive going on. Both were kind of going, well, here are the various things that what we have been taught to do. Like, here are these in all languages actions presented in the context of replicating this thing. And I was like,
I had a personal thought of God complex during someone's performance because
Oh gosh, yes.
the call going up and it was those two in the middle. It wasn't until the library when others stood out, like the one member who was going over the radiator,
yeah.
the one in the corner who was shaky. I thought that was fantastic. The lighting and her in that corner was perfect.
I just think that sadly you are drawn to those two, and I think the others was just as good, but they just felt like extra parts.
Because they were in the middle the whole time and didn't turn around.
Wonder why that could be. But interestingly, out of that lot, easily the best performer is Eleanor, like by a long,
Yeah.
Her
long,
on
long
that
way,
chair.
who is seriously good.
She's very, very good.
But then again, that's that's the thing that's gained with the thing that she works with, which is really interesting. She doesn't have this in life generally. It's absolutely total focus on it and being right there. Like generally speaking, she's a bit sort of somewhere away in the clouds, if you know what I mean. But performing stuff, it's like whoa, no.
You don't mess with
Like
her.
that moment just there is
She,
happening.
I don't think she thinks about it. If you get what I mean, which is really good. She just does it, and it's like, oh, let's just go. Don't want to do that. Oh, how am I going to do that? She just goes and does it.
Yeah,
It's like, oh, well done.
And that, that she's, I think she's 25?
Okay.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I didn't know that.
Does not look that. Looks
No.
16. Easily passed for 16.
I can imagine that buying a drink would cause massive
Oh
problems.
my gosh, I've seen her drunk.
That sounds hilarious. I'll be
It's
honest.
hilarious. I only walked past her and I didn't see her. Next minute, someone was attacking me with hugs, and I'm like, oh, wow, it's insane.
But yeah, that complete focus, the kind of being now is really, really important. And that was kind of where I was going.
I-
But I took the long route to get there.
Don't worry about it all. I'd quite like to focus on the internal a lot more. I thought that was really effective. I thought we could do so much more within that sort of, about your body and what's going on inside instead of maybe external.
That takes a huge amount of noticing, like
Yes.
consciously paying attention to that.
Yeah.
And I'm already awake.
I'm aware.
I shouldn't be, but I am.
This is what happens when our morning sessions are like,
I've just taken a
Exactly.
picture and you all look so sleepy. It's ridiculous.
I'm on about kind of 3 hours sleep. That's it.
Oh,
So-
God.
I have half an hour recording time, so if this baby dies, I'll get my phone out.
What was the thing? I was thinking a thing and it's gone.
Talking about internal and focus.
Oh yeah, it takes a huge amount of noticing, and if we're going to do that, we should really workshop on it. There needs to be a lot that goes into making that.
Yeah.
We need to do a lot of independent research. Just
Yeah.
look at other performances. It's like recently I've been proper looking at just Deviate.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're cool.
No, very cool.
Fantastic. You should look at A Cost of Living. It's a site-specific piece. He did do it in 2000, but that was for the Olympics. He never likes to repeat a performance. So, but I was looking at, you know, the way the body moves with like disability after reading, because there's a guy who doesn't have any legs basically, and it was really interesting just looking at how the movement goes in through that. And if you looked at the piece and took away the words, you could easily put your own creative writing over it. Yeah, your own text. It was really interesting because it's basically him talking and then other people having taboo questions and stuff, and it's really good.
Text.
Yes. And music. Are we going down? Are we going to use music? Or are we going to use?
I don't like that idea.
I really like silence.
Yes,
really
I like silence.
Because like
Any music
It's
was
one
to
of
be
my
added,
favourite
I
things,
think
you know?
if any soundtrack people ever wanted, all I could ever think of, it would have to be complete, just a soundscape. It would have to be natural sound,
Because
no music.
music can just be as almost like manipulating, isn't it? Manipulative.
and for me it really distracts from what I'm looking at, because
Yeah.
like sound is more like stimulating for me than like visual. So it's like
Unless of course that's what you want to do. If you want
Yeah.
to, you know, if you want to kind of overwhelm in some way, sure, go for it. You know, that's fine.
but it's really
equally silence can do that. That's
yeah, because I think with music, like especially like recognizable music, it's really really hard to get it to look like authentic and not I'm just doing theatre.
You know that film You're My Favourite Chair? The piece of music in that is by one of my favourite bands. Like, there's one piece of music in there which is just something that I absolutely love. And seeing it in that particular in that context, it's like, that's really horrible. But the thing about that is they deliberately chose something which is quite niche that not many people will know. And had that sort of soundscape-ish quality rather than being something which is like, there's a nice, easy melody that I can hook into here.
You know, for our proposal, do we have to like just write things like we want to do, or we have to write a full-on?
No, I think it's just like
Bless
what we
you.
want to do,
Sorry.
like aspects that we want to focus on.
Oh,
Not like,
right,
we're
okay.
gonna do this.
Yeah.
But there's like room to move
And
and
the other
change.
thing about that is I know that she's going to give a lot of feedback on that so that they can modify it actually.
Bless you. You okay?
I've never seen somebody sneeze so hard that they push their chair backwards across the room. That's extraordinary.
I never saw that.
I headbutt the table once when I sneezed.
Wow.
Oh, my back hurts.
That was quite something.
I have twice, while playing music on stage, managed to just slice into my eyebrow with it, because I play drums.
Oh, you're a drummer as well?
Yeah. One time it was my mate guitarist, Mark, who plays a really ridiculous guitar called BC Rich Warlock, which has got a big spiky headstock on it. He walked over to the drum kit, was having a conversation with me while we were playing, turned around. And my vision went red, and I was kind of like, I wonder why that's happening. And the other time, I was
I'm just
just
documenting.
rocking out so hard that I inadvertently headbutted my person.
Oh dear.
Do that.
They're beautiful, Graham.
Oh, gangster G in the morning, right?
I'm loving it. You look like a robber.
Oh my god, I look so huge. She's looking great. It's fine. I am a criminal bear.
Okay, so how about the language and spoken text?
I want us to stick with the mixed languages. I think that's really strong.
Yeah.
Question is, what are we supposed to talk about? Does it have to make sense? Is it about a certain topic?
Now
Or we talk about different
that
things?
is the thing that I think we need to really think about now. Is as much as I hate asking this question, and I really do, what are we doing? What is this about? Like, what's the? You know, what are we trying to get at with this? And we don't have to approach it in any direct way. We need to know what that is.
Yeah, we've all been avoiding that question, haven't we?
But then again,
Not that question.
but then again, like with Because we are talking some other language.
Jordan too, right?
Yeah.
Jordan's well speaking Welsh. Jordan's speaking
Oh yeah,
Welsh.
yeah, yeah, Jordan.
So
as well.
half and half.
Like there's also what we can play with is that we don't tell you what we're talking about. We don't tell each other. We have like our own meaning to it.
Okay, but then what are we going to say to Louise when she asks?
And we're like none of your business.
It's either
that is not going to go down well.
if Louise asked us, say we'd never want to know what each other is saying in the performance. Everyone has their own sheet. They can turn it over to her. The audience herself can read it if necessary. But we're not. We could maybe either never know, or we could find out after the whole exam thing.
Yeah. Okay.
I like the idea of not
But
knowing.
this still isn't getting to the question I was asked.
I know. We're getting there. We do have hour and a half.
I mean, there are like
Other 2 hours.
yeah, there are so many things that could be lifted from the thing which we're using as the stimulus piece, which is that exhibition. I mean, it was extremely multi-layered. And while I absolutely love the very symbolic powerful work that was going on with that figure from the Abbey Grave figure and that kind of thing, it's an amazing image, and it kind of relates that picture to all sorts of different things like Narcissus and Christ at the same time. I mean, that's that's big stuff. That's huge ideas. I think the thing which we can get the most work out of and create the most from is probably the other stuff which was there. And I think there's something that we can work on which is perhaps about that very odd relationship between tormentor and victim, and how that's based on mutual need.
So, like
In many
manipulation, things like that. Manipulation would be one of
in
key ideas.
both
type.
directions. It's worth looking at some stuff on transactional analysis, which kind of goes into a little bit of detail about that, but it's mostly about the way in which people relate to one another, and that victim-tormentor relationship is something which is quite key to it. And if I were to personally pick anything out of that whole exhibition, it would be that. As just a kind of something to work from and something to explore through this work, even if we don't ever explicitly kind of make a point of the fact that's what we're doing. In fact, it would be better if we didn't.
I
The
found
more abstract, the better.
a strong point I personally found was just the concept of safety, which quite kind of links with yours. Because I think it was you I spoke to straight after the thing, when we were walking back down the hill with Miles and stuff. The idea when I found that room to me seemed like it was supposed to be maybe a point of safety because of the light, because everywhere else was dark, and to me that seemed unsafe. Just for me and all the figures in the room, it was almost like safety versus out there. But I couldn't tell if inside was safe either because none of the figures looked welcoming.
No.
They definitely were. It's interesting you say that being in the light makes you feel safer.
Scared of the dark kind of happens.
Most scary
Because of course,
things.
like the thing which, if I felt unsafe, the thing which I'd do is try and make it so I couldn't be seen. And that's, you want the exact opposite environment to that. You want absolute pitch blackness. And that's
I'm
it.
on your sort of side.
I want to kind of see where it is. If I can hide and see something, I'm perfectly happy. If I can't see it, I'm screwed because it can get me.
Most terrifying, most bad things, when you get what I mean, happen in the dark. Because it's that uncertainty, isn't it? Sort of like you can't see.
It's like
You're vulnerable.
well, prisoners in like other countries are usually, they're not necessarily always going to be like me. Have you seen Guantanamo Bay or whatever it's called? I can't say the word.
The thing which
The
is
sight prevention.
the thing which is most interesting about that, though, is the fact it's called Count X-ray for a good reason, which is the fact you can see through it. Every prisoner at any given time is visible, and it's kind of based on the prison architecture idea of the panopticon, which would be if you imagine a room which is much like this but circular, And in the centre of it, there's a big kind of control tower thing which allows you to see into every single cell. So every prisoner knows that they're being watched. That sort of like surveillance thing relies on the observer being able to see and the observed knowing that the observer can see. And that is horrifying. It's just awful. It's completely and totally anything that makes me really, really angry.
I know, I don't feel this, because you've also got the false feelings they do there with the nose. I saw a video on it.
Most definitely. Yeah.
And you know about that guy that starts crying at the end because he just can't deal with it? Have you seen that one? Oh. And then I saw images of the sensory punishment where basically they're made to sit outside on their knees. Their hands are bound at the back. They can't hear, they can't see, and they're just made to sit outside, whatever, and just deal with it. And it's horrible.
It's horrible.
Yeah.
That's the,
We'll go back to the performance, like when we had to close our eyes and start doing things, I was like, no.
it's pretty vulnerable, isn't
It is really vulnerable, and like when you put your bag up, so I didn't do it personally, I would have freaked out if I did. Put the bag over the head, I would have just gone, because you just, you're vulnerable. Even close my eyes, I was like, oh my god, I can sense someone sat there, so I know. But to do a performance when we're like, we haven't got one of our usual senses that we always take for granted, it's going to be really interesting, I think.
I think that would definitely be something we need to play on them.
Because this thing about the seen and the unseen, and the ability to see observation, and well, not observation, but kind of surveillance, which also links into the fact that we are being watched by an audience. They can at any given point see us. That's the thing which is there, So playing with that dynamic of making the audience into perhaps prison guards in a sense is quite an interesting idea.
Yeah, I quite like that. That's a really interesting point, yeah.
And the sensory deprivation thing, that, I cannot see, I can't hear, you can see me.
And it does things get internalized emotion-wise.
Which deals with the internal thing really, really nicely. So these things are all kind of pulling together in this one linking thread, which is good.
My heartbeat went straight up when as soon as I closed my eyes, because I was so nervous, like, oh my god, I can't see anything, even though my eyes were just closed.
I felt like it works with that idea of adrenaline, like I was saying, they're not being afraid of, as I said, just basically going, it works with that adrenaline rush because everyone is heightened up.
Anyone
just out of interest, do any of you wear glasses or contact lenses?
I wear glasses.
I can't see properly at the moment. I didn't wear my glasses. I only kept on the table because of Tina.
The reason I was wondering that is because things like visual impairment, and I'm half deaf,
I discovered that the other day in the thing. I was like, Joe, and you were just like, that was at best to be the other day. I was like, I'm trying to apologise for us leaving you.
it just doesn't work. It's nerve damage. The nerve between ear and brain is gone.
Okay. So
it means that in most situations I can hear absolutely fine because the other ear works perfectly, and in fact, kind of better than most people. But I can't tell sound direction at all. I hear everything.